Hi, it's Joy, and today Grogu and I are going to be watching The Mandalorian, Season 3, Episode 6, Chapter 22, Guns for Hire. You know how happy this show makes me. We are ready. Let's go. You can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon. Let's go. I mean, it's interesting to see the way other cultures work, you know.
Captain, please.
I feel like I recognise the voices of these actors, but I can't place them. It's not going to be easy bringing the Mandalorians back together, but we can do it. There's a hope. There's a future in a world.
It's probably best if we go in on foot.
Welcome to Plaisir 15.
Well, you know, this seems like a welcoming place.
This is not a request.
It's going great. I love exploring new worlds, so I'm here for this. We are going fast, I know.
Join us! Come!
Okay, this definitely seems like a place that's a bit too indulgent and decadent, so it's not going to be as lovely for everyone here.
Everyone!
My husband came here as part of his
Grogu's engrossed.
He oversaw the we fell in love.
We fell in love. We did fall in love.
I know, Grogu.
Perhaps hold the baby, please.
He doesn't take kindly to strangers.
Oh no!
So fast.
Okay, so I fully relate to seeing this little angel and being like, I must hold the baby. You know, if I were to be given a guest spot on The Mandalorian, I mean, obviously I'm not an actor, but you know, if they were to be like, hey, we love your reactions, you got to be on The Mandalorian, I'd be like, can I hold Grogu? But also, I do not like that she's holding Grogu. No one should hold him that we don't know, but then she offered him food. That is the way to his heart.
Democratic elections for the first time in our history.
Just food is the way to his heart.
And the Mandalorian
I'm so jealous of her right now, even as I hold him.
What kind of malfunction?
I mean, nothing too serious at first. Unexpected power cycles.
Are they just living their own lives?
And then it got worse.
Apologies if that is the impression I gave. What I intended to convey is that I hope that this
You were so easily won over.
would be viewed as an act of diplomacy between our two planets.
You had me at battle droids.
Oh, damn. Do the droids just want to live their own life? Or am I thinking to try to become human? Freedom for the Roger Rogers! Freedom for the Roger Rogers! It didn't even occur to me when they said battle droids that it would be a Roger Rogers. I think the droids are just trying to live free.
Our society would collapse.
Then what do you want from us?
To seek out and decommission any remaining rogue droids until we can.
The droids just want to be treated as civil citizens.
Give us the list.
Rights for the Roger Rogers.
You'll have to go to the lower level and.
This is going nowhere.
I am Mandalorian Din Djarin, friend of Ugnaught Kuiil. You will answer our questions and help us with our task. I have spoken.
Kuiil, bless. I have spoken.
Here are the locations of the droids you seek.
Thank you. We are in your debt. I have spoken.
I think the droids just don't like being forced to
What was that?
be labor.
Time with Ugnaughts. There's a particular.
Why can't it be Roger Rogers?
I haven't
Not that I want to see them hurt Roger Rogers, but...
Oh, this is a restricted area.
So happy. I'm sorry if you've watched any of my reactions to the Clone Wars. I love the Roger Rogers. And I want rights for the Roger Rogers. I'm so happy live action Roger Rogers once more.
Big word. What are you doing?
He's got a personal thing with these ones. They don't like being abused. They can't help what their programming is. Oh!
recertified, huh?
You should have left them alone.
Agreed! I'm sorry, I'm on the droid side in this one. They can't help what their programming was. They just don't want to be abused. I may be reading this wrong, but... And like, it's not directly harming anyone, it's causing property damage. It's harming the people that are hunting him, but... This is ridiculous. They're just Roger Rogers hanging out at a bar. I'm so happy right now. Roger Rogers on my life. It's fine.
Look, you are not helping.
You've come
Just
around
because
to
the
some
malfunctioning
droids.
droids happen to visit here doesn't mean that this one is in on it.
I want to help. The New Republic would send them to scrap, but here on Plaisir they are given a second chance.
Well, these catastrophes don't help your argument.
Exactly. That's why we need your help. We don't want to be replaced. We still have a lot to contribute.
These poor
Human life
droids.
is so short. Created us. It's the least we can do.
But there are some who don't agree, it would seem. And there are those that do. I love droids.
It seems the malfunctioning droids all imbibed from the same batch of Nepenthe.
Interesting. I love this little crime-solving duo. I also am glad that the droids aren't being mistreated and they're actually okay with their work. They get to go to a bar after work. Like they're not used as slaves. They seem to have some kind of freedom and they're happy. That makes me feel better and more at ease than I was at the beginning of the episode. Good job, droids. I love this. Is like a crime show. I love it so much. The Mandalorian is just peak TV.
What are the chances that they're still active?
Oh god. Whoa, so they're properly being... It's not their fault, they're just being... I was not expecting like a crime show episode, and I'm here
They're
for it.
still active.
There's no record of this transaction on the government registry.
Interesting.
These droids were ordered by an individual.
Is there a name?
Very
The head of
interesting.
security,
Oh, ho,
Commissioner
ho.
Hellgate.
Because he thinks the humans have got... He wants humans... He thinks that people have got lazy and they should be working.
Cycles of security.
He thinks people have given up and it's wrong that humans do nothing but work.
Sorry, I have to check the... Everyone freeze! If I trigger this failsafe, it will convert the planet's docile workforce back into battle droids and unleash them upon the unsuspecting citizens of Plaisir. I support democracy. Count Dooku was a visionary. He was
using the
by the
separatists.
Jedi and forces.
Back to work, everyone.
Politics.
It really was just politics. Yes! Grogu!
We found the cause.
I love that they left Grogu with these people. He's had the best day.
I'm afraid it is.
This is a fantastic episode.
I also give to you both our highest honor, the key to Plaisir.
There are so many of my favourite droids in this episode.
Milady. My lord.
It's a good place to come for a holiday in the future.
And to this little one, I grant knighthood.
Yes!
You are now a knight of the Ancient Order of Independent Regencies.
Yes!
Go in peace, brave travelers, until our paths...
This little boy is a Jedi. He's a Mandalorian, and he's a knight of the Regencies. Yes!
meet again.
Sir! Gotta call Grogu Sir now. I'd at least give the Imperial ship a paint job, so it didn't look so Imperial. Hey! There are a lot of Mandalorians here.
Then I challenge you. One warrior to another. Do you accept my challenge?
Kinda has to, right? We're just starting right away? Come on, Bo. They were close once. No! You know, in the time it took for her to say, "Do you yield?" she could have cut your throat. So she did just win. Yield already.
Do you yield? Not one drop of Mandalorian blood in his veins.
Din Djarin took the creed and chose to walk the way.
Mm-hmm.
Just as our ancestors did.
This belongs to you.
Oh my goodness.
It's not a gift to be given, no matter how well intended.
It's not a gift.
She saved his life and she earned it that way.
I was captured, and this blade was taken from me.
It's what I said, that the random thing would be the rifle.
Dan rescued me.
Uh-huh.
Slayed my captain.
Fuck.
She defeated the enemy that defeated me. Blade then not belong to her?
Oh my god.
It would.
I am so happy. Like, going into this season, I was really concerned that we were going to reach some kind of place where Bo-Katan felt like she had no choice but to fight him for it. Like, kind of because she believed so much in what she was doing. And I absolutely love that she had no intention of ever fighting him. Like, she maybe didn't want to see him initially because she knew that. But, like, I love this so much. And she did earn it.
To its rightful owner.
Whoa. Whoa. This show is fantastic. And she can fight with it. She's brilliant with it. Oh my god. I absolutely adore this episode. I love exploring different worlds in the galaxy. It's one of my favourite things in both fantasy shows and sci-fi shows, is to sort of explore these worlds apart from our own. So seeing Plezior, or whatever it was called, and their way of life was brilliant. And to begin with, I was genuinely concerned. I was worried that this kind of utopia often, like, I mean, ideally I'd like to believe that we could technologically reach a place like this, but would have someone being oppressed in order for other people to be doing so well. And then when the droids were malfunctioning, my brain immediately went to the, like, this is Age of Troy become human scenario. This is droids being like, we deserve better by being mistreated. We want rights too. We want to be citizens. Because we've seen droids with full-blown personalities and opinions and stuff beyond their programming. So to begin with, I was like kind of expecting that maybe when they went to the bar, they'd hear the droids, they'd say, well, you know, we're abused and mistreated and we do all the work, we should get given like more rights or whatever. But the fact that the droids were like, well, no, actually we're treated quite well and we would just be sent to the scrap heap anywhere else, but here we have a chance to work and to do things and we're happy. And even the fact that there are droid bars that they can go to, which shows that they're not just slaves with no rights. They have maybe less rights than citizens, and that's maybe something we can deal with another time, but they have free time and they can do what they want in that free time, and they have friends and they can hang out, and there are Roger Rogers in this galaxy who get to go to a bar after their work shift is everything to me. One of the hardest parts of the Clone Wars was watching Roger Rogers get massacred left, right and centre and supporting it because they were on the wrong side. But I love Roger Rogers. They're innocent of all crimes, and every Roger Rogers should be given freedom. So that was absolutely fantastic and glorious. And seeing live action Roger Rogers again was everything. I don't care what their names are. Their names are Roger Rogers. Made me beyond happy. And then, I definitely, when the guy at the beginning was saying, oh, humans have got lazy and they don't do anything and it's bad, I was wondering if it was kind of, he had the kind of Wall-E outlook on life, the thing of, if humans don't work, humans bad, humans lazy. Whereas I don't think that's the case. I think the only reason we have to work is because we live in a capitalist society. And I will give that with our current technological state in our world, we don't actually live in a world where everybody could not work. But the ideal world would be a world where nobody had to work, where if you wanted to work, if you were someone that careers were what drove you, you could follow that career path. But if you didn't want to work, and if your life's purpose was in your hobbies and your other interests, that would be okay too. That would be the goal of the world. And I don't know how, as much as that is the utopia of the future, like a hope of the future, I have no idea how we're going to get there. Capitalism isn't working, but that doesn't mean the next step is just to go to that. But this planet actually seems to be functioning really well. I was convinced there was going to be another shoe that was going to drop, and it really didn't. And I actually really liked that. I liked that the droids were really happy to be working because it's what they were programmed to do, it's what they were meant to do, and they were choosing it. I would like to think that should they change their minds, the people on this planet would support them, but we will see. the whole, you know, seeing another ex-Empire person who's now built a wonderful life, it's a bit much, but, you know, good for him. Grogu just getting to spend a lot of time getting hit, but he got lots of food, he helped her win all the games, he got knighted, he had the best time, and we support that for him. I loved the like crime show aspect. I watch a lot of crime shows. I enjoy the kind of figuring out who's behind it, and it just when it suddenly just boom in my brain when Din and Bo were in the morgue with the like medical examiner, and I was like, this is a crime show. It was fantastic to follow it through, and it made sense. The guy with his rant against, you know, humans not working, absolutely fantastic. And then they were given the keys to the kingdom. This one was knighted. I absolutely enjoyed every single aspect of that episode. It was, you know, in some ways it was nice that it was kind of a break from the Mandalore's destiny. I mean, obviously it wasn't a break from that because they were doing this in order to get the audience, but I really did enjoy that. And the fact that this planet was like, we'll recognize Mandalore as its own sovereign system again, and like, we're going to support you, was nice. We need allies in this world. And then when they got there, and, you know, Bo-Katan saying she'd know what she would do when she got to them. Obviously, the final nail in the coffin with them was both that she wanted to reclaim Mandalore and that she did not have the Darksaber. I know that the armor, I think, said before when her name came up that, like, she got the Darksaber, it was given to her, so therefore it wasn't hers by right, and that's what destroyed Mandalore, and therefore, like, even if they don't necessarily have quite as extreme views as that, you could see that they wouldn't want to follow her if she wouldn't even fight one man that she doesn't know very well to get it. But I respect her 1,000 times over for not fighting him for the blade, for not even doing a fight like the one they did here where it's just to the yield. You know, she looked and she was like, he is a worthy person. He is a true Mandalorian. He earned that blade by fighting his enemy to protect a foundling. Like, he is a Mandalorian. Fighting him for the blade wouldn't be honorable. It wouldn't be the honorable thing to do. It would get her the blade and get her army back, but it would not be the right thing to do. And I respect Bo-Katan 1,000 times over. And going into this series, I was very concerned, less so as it went on, but like when it was starting, that we were going to reach the point where she felt she had no choice but to duel him for it to the death, or, you know, at least a kind of aggressive duel, a fight where, you know, there was anger involved because she needed the blade so desperately. And I respect her character 1,000 times over. You can see everything she's learned throughout her life when you've been following her, that she was not ever going to fight him. She truly considered as the way of the children of the watch or whatever. And I adore that everyone in the show is evolving and growing. And I don't know if I left it in my edited reaction, but I think I definitely commented, or I remember at least thinking, during the whole thing when Din was knocked out and everything, I was like, that little, you know, robot-y creature thing, it's the rightful owner of the Darksaber. And so I love that he was able to be like, well, no, she did save my life, and I did owe him for that, but she not only saved his life, she defeated the thing that defeated him, and so therefore the blade is hers by right of combat. That is fantastic. And she now has her Mandalorians back, her fleet. We know Mandalore is fit to inhabit. Din never particularly wanted to be the leader of Mandalore. I think he actually would be very well suited to it, seeing how he's able to be diplomatic. I think with someone at his side like Bo-Katan, he would be a fantastic leader, but that was never really his life's purpose. So I love that so much. I still would like Din to explore what it means to be a Mandalorian and whether he has to follow the extremist Children of the Watch way. That is partly because I want to see Pedro Pascal's face, but like, not just because I'm like, oh, I fancy him, because obviously everyone does, but just because he's a fantastic actor, and as much as he is able to deliver brilliant performances with just his voice and body movements, the full performance would be everything. And to see Grogu being able to look at his dad's face, that would just be everything. So I do want that for him, and I also, in general, don't like extremists. I mean, I'm not a religious person in any way, shape, and form. I'm somewhat anti-religion, though I respect everybody's right to be religious. It's just my personal opinion of it all. But anyone who is an extremist of any religion, immediately I'm like, I want nothing to do with you. Like, you are so far brainwashed. And so I don't particularly like that Din is in an extremist fact of the Mandalorians. But what I will give them is that they're not, it's not like the Death Watch, they're not hurting anybody by doing what they're doing. So I don't actually, you know what, like, they're just living their lives, that they're not harming others, and they're beginning to be less judgmental of others, which we support. So this was a fantastic episode with a fantastic ending. He now has 3 titles to his name, so everyone better watch out. Grogu is the hero. I saw live action Roger Rogers. I am so happy right now. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and thank you so much for watching.